I was talking with one of my lovely clients the other day, and she had tears in her eyes because she met this man online, someone that she really, really liked, and he told her after their first date that he just wanted to be friends. And she was crushed. She thought that the date had gone really well, and she left the date feeling like she was on cloud nine. She liked so much about him and started imagining them walking down the street holding hands, going on vacations together, basically, projecting a future with him. And in these circumstances, when the idea of a relationship is so enticing, we want a particular man so badly, it's really, really common to start leaning in and begin chasing the man. And the more we want the man, or the more we want someone, the stronger that pull becomes. And in this video, I will show you exactly why you should never chase a man and 3 powerful shifts to make him naturally want to be with you. You'll be really surprised at how, the tables can turn and how he will be attracted to come to you instead of you chasing him. And most importantly, it will allow you to stay centered and calm when you feel emotionally anxious, upset, or drained during the dating process. I've practiced these techniques in my personal dating and relationship experience, and my clients can attest that they work. You don't want to be sending chasing energy out there. I know it's tempting, but it won't serve you. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear plan to shift your dynamics in your favor and attract the right man without losing your self-worth in the process. Hi, I'm Kimberly Anderson, and I help professional women over 35 reconnect with their feminine essence to find their soulmate. After going through my own journey of dating struggles after divorce, I learned a lot of powerful strategies that I'm about to share. I've helped countless women regain control of their love lives, and I really hope that this video will help you too. But before we dive into it, if you're finding this video helpful, I would be really grateful if you'd hit the subscribe button, like, and share this video with other women who could benefit. I'd really love to hear your comments in the description of the video below. All right, let's get into it. The first shift that you need to understand is human nature. So think about it. In general, when we feel forced by something, we no longer want it, right? So because it no longer feels like it's our choice anymore. And this applies, of course, to men and women, but especially for masculine men in the context of dating and romantic relationships. It is extremely important and linked to the way that men function. Let me give you an example about being pressured into a total different topic, but food or drink. Imagine a friend who insists that you have to try this. It is the best thing, that you will ever know. They say, keep pushing the food in front of you. And even if you might have been curious to try the food at first, the constant pressure makes you resist because it no longer feels like it's your choice, right? It feels like you're being forced into it, which takes away the appeal and turns off you wanting to try it in the first place. This concept, of course, relates to dating, right? So when he acts distant or you feel that you need to push, the more you lean in, the more he pulls away, right? And this is where a woman chasing a man often results in him losing interest or just feeling pressured when she double texts him or often tries to initiate plans, for example. It can have the total opposite effect to what she originally intends. And the man may feel, overwhelmed. He may feel controlled. He may feel deprived of the opportunity to pursue her on his own terms. It takes away the man's desire to make his own choices and can make him feel naturally less drawn to her. Instead of feeling attracted, he may feel repelled by the lack of space and the sense of being pushed into a relationship or a deeper connection. Even if he does want a relationship, the feeling of being cornered or pressured can make him resist simply again because it doesn't feel like it's his choice. This resistance can arrive even if he might be genuinely interested otherwise. So the first thing to understand is that it's naturally human, and even more so for a masculine man in the context of dating and love, to not want to feel like something is being forced on him. And that brings me to the second shift, and that is giving him space. I touched on this a minute ago. It's a super important one for men. You want to give him the room to decide if he wants to pursue you. You want to give him the space to have him feel like he's leading in the relationship, to develop his desire for you. Without this space, there is no room for desire. If you're filling that space by chasing him, texting him, or constantly initiating, he doesn't have room to step in and to choose to pursue you. Think of it like a boomerang. When you throw a boomerang out, it goes out into the sky, but it eventually comes back. Similarly, a man may need to pull away for a while, but if you give him enough space and the relationship is meant to be, he will come back. This happens when he is motivated to have a relationship, genuinely interested, and wants to pursue you. When he does come back, he often returns with even more strength and intention because you've allowed him to be in his masculine energy, stepping back into being pursued. Now, here's another example. If one person talks nonstop without pausing, there's no room for another person to respond or engage in that conversation, right? The conversation becomes one-sided, and the other person may lose interest. In dating, the exact same principle applies. If you're always filling in the space by constantly reaching out or trying to push things forward, there's no room for the other person to show their interest and take action. By giving space, you create a natural pause where they can decide to step in and engage to pursue you. Without that space, there's no room for the desire to grow. And hey, before we move on, if you're finding this video helpful and you haven't subscribed yet, I'd be super grateful if you could hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much. All right, the third important shift that I want to talk to you about is perception. Okay, so how you perceive situations and the men that you date, this is absolutely business critical. Your perception shapes absolutely everything. It is your interpretation of your dating life and the man you date that is super important. So let me tell you a little story. I can remember when I first started dating. I met this guy online. I was super excited. We had a great text exchange and a lot of good energy going together back and forth. And he had, a great job. He was super cute. He had a great sense of humor. We went on our first date and it went super well. And I texted him the next day to thank him for a really nice time. And then I didn't hear from him. So my first inclination was like, well, I'm going to text him again because maybe he didn't get my message or we had such a good time. So I didn't understand why he wasn't texting me back. I then started to glorify him and the short time that we spent together. The idea of being with him became almost like a little mini obsession at the time. Each time I texted him, I'd either not get a response back or I'd get maybe one word. And every time that happened, my heart sank. I can remember feeling deflated and started doubting myself. I remember feeling, rejected. All of this based on a date with one man that I liked. Now, the problem with this is that when a man doesn't contact you again, or when he gives you breadcrumbs, a few messages here or there, it may have absolutely nothing to do with you. Now, perhaps he doesn't want a relationship, but you do, for example. Perhaps he isn't sure what he wants because he just broke up with his girlfriend or is separated from his wife. In any case, whatever the reason, chasing him will not change his interest in dating you. It will actually only repel him from you further, if there was any remote interest in the first place. The lesson that I learned in this is I was tying a part of my value to a date with one guy. Now, that's not only silly, but it was harmful to me. So when we get this, it totally changes how we see dating. If we don't get this, we end up having a lot of negative feelings about dating and about men, but when we do get it, it shifts our perspective and it makes it so much easier to enjoy the process of dating and keep things fun. And this is where doors are opened to finding the one. And on that note, if you would love some guidance in finding your soulmate while feeling absolutely amazing in the process, I have a fantastic online program that can transform your approach to love. I also offer limited number of spaces and one-to-one mentoring, which are filling up really quickly. So be sure to check the details in the description of this video below. All right, so let's get back a minute to my story about the man that breadcrumbed me. What I also realized through this experience is that I didn't know this person that well, and that his actions were not really demonstrating that he valued me, right? In fact, I was unknowingly giving him far more credit and importance than it was really due. It's so tempting when we have a great date, or a great couple dates, to jump ahead, to jump to conclusions and automatically think that this man is going to be a great partner or is a great partner. And often we listen to his words instead of paying attention to his actions. So it's like, we give him all kinds of points in his favor that he'll be a great partner without really tying anything to specific actions. So for example, if he does things like show up on time, we can credit him for that action. If he consistently texts us, we can give him credit for that action. If he shows us consideration and kindness by investing in dates with us, we can give him credit for those actions, right? But if we chase him based on the concept or the idea in our heads rather than his actions, our perception of the situation is off. And adding chasing to it will never serve you. So let's just agree that you are not going there. And the last thing that I've found is a game changer is to trust and to let go. It is so easy in dating to want to cling to one man. This causes so much unnecessary anxiety and nervousness. Why? Why do we feel this? Because we feel fearful. There's no one else out there like that. Like this one man is the only last man out of 4 million men on the planet. The last one out of 4 million men, seriously, sister, I love you, but this is a scarcity mindset. I've found that thinking in terms of abundance is a far more helpful way to finding a partner, to finding your man. So tell yourself today, for example, a wonderful man is out there for me right now, and he is excited to meet me too. So there you have it. 3 shifts to help you attract a man's attention instead of chasing him. My question is, what has helped you stay centered when you really liked a man? I would love it if you would drop a comment in the section below, and remember to keep an open mind and heart to attract Mr. Right. Thank you so much for watching. Sending you lots of love.